What it do? It's your boy ELOOO, and y'all already know, man. We in the building. It's another Thursday. We up early in the morning with it, sipping this coffee. Check out my mug, man. My mug, these mugs getting crazy, bro. My coffee mug's getting crazy. Shout out to my wife. She know I'm into these coffee mugs and sipping this coffee on the show. She keep me with some new updated ones all the time. So shout out to the queen. Today a little quick episode, man. This for the fellas. Really, this for the adults, man. This for the adults. Anybody who done been living real lifestyles, anybody who done been through any traumatic moments, anybody who's just is really adulting out here. So I've been saying this thing. Okay, first off, shout out to Resurrection Life Church. They had a men's summit this weekend, the men's ministry, and I took my son out there. This is my second year attending it with my son, my pops and my mom. Them attend that church. So every year they have it, I get invited. So I'm gonna start bringing more of y'all with me too. Next year we're gonna have a crew of people from Sipp Coffee go out there and watch these speakers speak, because there's always something great to take from it. And while I was in there, what I wrote down and what I took from the situation was this exact note right here. I've been living in survival mode, haven't enjoyed taking in the steps and the places that I'm going, and I must do so. That being in post-traumatic survival mode is bad for an adult man. So what I noticed is in the last couple of years, and I'm talking at least 10 years, never have I sat in the moment. And when I'm going places, when we got events to go to, we got events to do, things to do, I'm not enjoying the moment. I'm not taking in the moment as in being here right now. I'm like basically going through the motions, floating, doing what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do, because that note of I've been living in survival mode comes from, it's like this here says, survival mode. Living in survival mode is incredibly draining. The state of being is living in survival mode isn't just being busy. It's a consistent state of high alert where your nervous system is stuck in a loop on fight, flight, or freeze. When you're there, the higher level parts of your brain, the ones responsible for creativity, long-term planning, and even joy, often go offline just so you can make it through the next hour. When you are in this headspace, everything feels like a priority, which means nothing actually is. You can't jump from survival mode to thriving overnight. The bridge between the two is maintenance. So that's a lot. That's a lot said in 2 short paragraphs. I've been writing these notes down for the last couple of days, man. And I'm telling you, it's been on my mind a lot to come and do this episode with y'all, because there's a lot of us in survival mode. There's a lot of us stuck in fight, flight, or freeze. You know, we've experienced some things in life that put us in a state of mind to make us think that everything is priority. It's like an urgent moment. And that's why so many of us deal with anxiety. We get anxious because we're thinking that is a priority to do this, move this. You know, noises and sounds, places and smells and things can make your brain trigger certain traumatic states of your inner, and that's not a good thing. So, like I said, you can't go from survival mode to thriving and just out here laughing, kiki. I done seen some things that make me not be able to, when I'm in public, just walk around smiling and laughing and not pay attention. I'm on point. We used to have this saying back in the days when we was hanging out and stuff, and it was, I get throwed, but I don't get throwed off, because I'm always on point. We used to ask each other, boy, you on point? You 10-4? Everything good? Yeah. Do you know what's going on? When it's going on? Because if not, that could be deadly. Excuse me a second. Well, that could prove to be deadly if you not on point. That could prove to be deadly if you is thrown off. So being stuck in that mode is a good thing, but also is a bad thing, especially when you're a man that's leading your household. You got a wife, you got kids, or you're a woman that has a husband, that has kids. Your kids deserve to have the best version of you. Your kids deserve to have the smiling version, the happy version of you. Your kids deserve to have a version of you that no one else is allowed to have. So what do we do about this? We continue to seek help as far as finding exercises and finding things or tools that we can use to get us to another state of happiness. Me personally, I have to just spend more time with my family to make me feel, into a secure state. But at the same time, as a man, you are the provider and protector. So therefore, we're kind of always stuck into a security room. So what I'm saying today is we got to find a way to enjoy these moments. Me, myself, I'm saying we, because y'all on the show with me, y'all part of the Sipp This Coffee crew, and I feel like we speak on things that we all are dealing with. So we have to work on coming out of survival mode. It's like putting categories together. You can be in survival mode when it's time to be in survival mode, but every moment doesn't require you to be in survival mode. Oof. Now, I just came off the dome with that one. I ain't gonna lie to you. That I'm gonna clip this up for myself. Well, you should be able to get to survival mode when it's required for you to get to survival mode. When you with the family stuff, you need to enjoy those moments, because like I say on here all the time, kids are only kids for so long. Teenagers are only teenagers for so long. But we're adult. Matter of fact, that brings me to my other note. Shout out to Byron. Byron gave me this one yesterday in the classroom, and I said that go along with my survival mode situation that I'm gonna do on the podcast tomorrow. So I wrote this note down, and it's deep. It said, "Kids make mistakes, adults make decisions." Whew. Kids make mistakes, adults make decisions. I always say on the show, we are adults longer than we are kids. So it's like once an adult is doing something, it's like kind of hard to forgive them, because these are thought out. This is a thought out decision as an adult. A kid move off impulse. They might just move or say something right off the top of their head right now. But as an adult man, as an adult woman, we supposed to put thought into something before we start talking, before we start moving, before we start doing. So it's kind of hard to give passes to adults when we know these type of things. It says, when we back to the survival mode. When we talk about the survival mode, it says, when you're in this head space, everything feels like a priority, which means nothing actually is. When you with your family, do you sit and can you take in the conversations that's going on in the room? Can you take in the emotions of the conversation? Do you live in the moment? Is the question on that. If not, you stuck in survival mode. You always looking to solve the problem. You always looking to help the situation. And some situations just require you to sit back and enjoy it, man. I'm trying to learn to laugh a little more. So we've been watching, the stand-up comedy shows. I've always been into comedy and everything, but really been trying to seek it a little bit more. Speaking of that, if you haven't watched the Dave Chappelle stand-up on Netflix first, that's a great one, with a lot of information and knowledge behind it. And then last night, me and my wife sat down and we watched the Mike Epps stand-up situation. It was pretty good, man. And it was dope to see him get emotional at the end, going through his history on how he get to where he was at that moment. And I think it hit him right then on stage that, like, yeah, I went through all that and I'm here. He spoke on all his survival moments. And in that moment, he realized, I'm here. He started talking about how he left Indiana and went to Atlanta. He talked about living in someone's basement for a moment. Man, that man was surviving, bro. He went from surviving to thriving. And listening to him, it sounds like thriving is something that he came about within the last couple of years. This is somebody who came from nothing, who had nothing and made it to something, had a whole lot of, and still got a whole lot of something now. And yeah, and he's thriving. And he said within the last couple of years, he's been able to intake everything that he's done because he's been on that journey, just fighting to get to the next step, to the next level, just like the rest of us is out here. Some of us may make it to the next level, some of us may not. But every day we should be fighting to get out of survival mode so we're not stuck into fight, flight, or freeze. And the sad part about me, you know, a lot of people like to say, oh, I'm a fighter, I do this, to make themselves sound so, you know, just rough and rugged. But truthfully, I've been stuck in fight mode for so long. I always said this, you know, growing up, I always thought about it when it was time for fight, flight, or freeze for me. Flight and freeze don't ever come out of me. I say, I shock myself sometimes the way that I respond. I shock myself to sometimes the way that I respond because the fight always come out. It's always defensiveness. It's always, yeah, we got to find a better way to express ourselves. I recently in this last month, I've been telling myself, and especially with it being a whole new year and everything, you're walking into a new realm of life. Your old way of life won't suit this new life. I've always been considered a little more mature than most of the people that I've been around. And it's because of the circumstances of life, of understanding that I had to be in the position or the roles of understanding quicker than my age group, understanding quicker than the people around me because of how I was raised. You know, um, with that being said, that's how I get stuck in survival mode, because you get stuck surviving. And that's why I think the Mike Epps stand-up is so dope, because he go through his whole role of how he was surviving to make it to the next step, the next step, the next step, that ended up being the major step. Or he's speaking on going against fear too. Going against fear instead of taking the next step to the next step. That's what we got to do. We cannot let these emotions, we cannot let these what you call it, man? There's all kind of words that I can use right now, but we just can't let this stuff stop us. We must do stuff like this here. I must jump on here and have this talk with y'all about survival mode, about going to the next level in life, about understanding that I'm in a position in life that I must go to another level in a mindset, soulful set, spiritual set. I must be a different caliber of man. Why? Man, y'all done heard me ranting and raving on here about Westwood. I'm in position now at the school to be in leadership amongst a whole bunch of young men who's seeking guidance in a high level. And the coaching staff that we got over there, you know, is a bunch of guys who done really been through things and can lead these kids. We just all got to focus, just like I'm talking to you about right now, locking in and focusing to make sure that we direct these young men into the proper positions and proper places in life, because there's so much talent over there. It's so much potential over there. It's just the only problem is there's no guidance over there. So we can't have more roles of the blind leading the blind, or these weak-minded men trying to talk to these young boys and trying to grow them into men, and you're not even a man. Yeah. So I constantly think about my role and my position that I'm now in, that I took over a couple months ago, and I feel like I must thrive to a high level doing it. I must thrive to it. It ain't just about the wins and losses, which that's a big part of it. You know what I'm saying? I love, who don't love to win? But the best thing that I love about losses is it's never a loss. It's always a lesson. You should be learning from what went wrong. How did you lose? You know, the analyst, that type of stuff goes into life with these kids. We must teach these kids how to analyze life. How did you lose? Film study isn't just you learning the game of football. Film study is you going in, correcting the wrongs to get better, to be the best. That teaches you in life the same thing. It's the same thing in your household. If you have a confrontation with your family within your house, your mom, your kids, your wife, your spouse, your however you see it, film study helps you get through that stuff. Why? Because we got to get to the bottom of the bottom to find out, how did I miss that tackle? Okay, relate that to life, life. How we get to this argument, baby? How we get into this argument? What's the issue that's at hand that's making us be at odds? Huh? How do we figure this out and work this out? Is analyzing the situation and making a game plan, a plan to fix the situation. In football, we'll go to individual drills. You do an indie session of individuals, and you work on the small, the little things within your position, doing the drills and stuff, drilling yourself to create healthy habits, right? That's how you get better in any sport. Basketball, football. I can't go to my left. I'm going to go to an individual drill in basketball, and I'm going to work on dribbling to my left. That's my weak point. I got to hone in on my weak point. That's what you have to do in your life. We must analyze ourselves without bias. We must analyze ourselves without putting the sugar coating on top of, don't sprinkle no sugar on top of you fixing yourself. Go blood raw with it. Analyze yourself as if you wasn't you. You was an outside person. Act like you are a Fortune 500 CEO, and you're about to hire you. And you do an analyzation of yourself to figure out what's the problem or why you wouldn't hire you. And go at it full throttle. Go at it full throttle. Figure out what's your downfalls and work on them. That's how it's going to go. We must analyze ourselves as if we are a Fortune 500 CEO and we're about to hire ourselves. What is the things that we need to work on and fix? And once you analyze that, and once you figure that, pinpoint that, go forward, working on it full throttle. And there's no timeline to it. But there's a timeline to your excuse making. Because if we continue to make excuses, if we continue to make reasons to why this stuff is happening, we're going to be forever stuck in survival mode, man. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about to y'all this morning, survival mode. And I want to leave this note with y'all. Kids make mistakes. Adults make decisions. Hey, like I told y'all, we weren't coming on here for too long today. We was coming over here just to chop it up with you. A little mental work day. I left the sports alone, but I do got one from sports. There's so much to talk about within sports that I got a couple episodes coming up. I probably will do another one coming soon in the next 2 days or so. So y'all stay tuned for that deal. But that final note that's related to sports, but it's also related to life and being a man. Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, going to his first Super Bowl, in which I done criticized him a lot over his career, and I've had great reason to. But the last 2 years, Sam Darnold has showed us that iron sharpens iron. When he came into the league, Sam Darnold was not a quarterback that was a caliber quarterback you would want on your team. He actually ended multiple seasons with more interceptions than touchdowns. And here he is going to a Super Bowl. Last year had a great run. I think they started the season off with almost 10 wins, no losses. Iron sharpens iron. You put a struggling guy like himself on a team like the Vikings last year with a receiving core, a line, and a running back. Look what he did last year. He won 10 games. They still got rid of him for the young boy, J.J. McCarthy, and which didn't pan out well for them because Sam Darnold then gets traded to the Seattle Seahawks. And you put a defense on the other side of that ball, and you give him nothing but pure weapons. Smith Najigba is one of the best wide receivers that he's like historic receivers mixed into one. So you give a receiving core like that to that guy, and then during the season, y'all get a major trade and get Shaheed, another weapon, per speed. Iron sharpens iron, man. Are you iron, and are you around iron to be sharpened? That's the question I'm leaving with y'all today. Are you iron, and are you around iron to be sharpened? That means you must evaluate your surroundings, your environment, everything that's going on with you, and you must make changes so that you can thrive properly and we can get out of survival mode. Man, it's been a great day, great morning. I pray y'all have a great day. As you see, I'm still wiping my nose and stuff. I had got better last week. Then I feel like I done got hit again with it. You know, this weather changing, we'll Florida boys. Yeah. So my nose running. I think it's sinuses. But with that being said, man, y'all sip some coffee today. Y'all put a smile on your face so you can put a smile on somebody else's face, and we can make the world a better place. And we can always do and roll out the way that I always roll out. And when I say roll out, I always say one finger, two finger, peace.